Hey everybody, today in this video in this hastily remade video, we're going to talk about observational learning. Some of the key terms that you're going to want to remember after the end of this is the classic Bandura study with the Bobo doll. We're going to talk about mirror neurons, which are the neural explanation for imitation behavior. We're going to talk a little bit about prosocial and antisocial behavior. So by the end of this video, you want to be able to describe what observational learning is and the neurological explanation for imitation behavior. So have your notes out that you can follow along, and remember that you can stop and pause and rewind if you need to. So let's get started. We're talking about learning without direct experience, without direct reinforcement or punishment. And the theory is that we can observe others and understand vicariously the effects of their reinforcers and their punishers. The people we watch are going to be called models in this case, and we can, again, by watching other people, we can experience their vicarious reinforcement through them, or in some cases punishment as well. This is especially true when we watch people that we admire. This could be famous people, this could be parents, this could be grandparents, this could be coaches, teachers, mentors, other people that are similar to us, like our friends, or just other people that we somehow like. We're going to talk about the Bobo doll experiment. This is Bandura's experiment, where he demonstrated that children will mimic and imitate adults. This is a very famous theory in this unit, one of the big three. We talk about Thorndike, Skinner, and Bandura in this part of our unit. So Bandura had, in his experiment, had preschool kids playing with toys in a room, and in a different part of the room there was an adult who kind of displayed frustration and started to beat up a blow-up clown with kind of sand on the bottom, like a giant weeble. That when you hit it, it would bounce back up, and this clown was called Bobo. So for about 10 minutes, this adult was breaking bad on Bobo and saying mean things to it, and kicking it, punching it, and throwing it across the room. So the child then was taken to another room where there was really appealing toys and was allowed to play for a few minutes. And then some of those kids were then told that those toys were for good kids and that they would have to go to another room where they found less fun toys. So the frustrated kids who had seen the adult break bad on Bobo, they also broke bad on Bobo. And we have some footage here. Let's take a look in a second. Kids who did not observe the adult modeling aggressive behavior, they were somewhat less likely to be aggressive to the Bobo doll. The kids acted more aggressive if they observed the aggressive adult, but they also weren't just more aggressive, they actually imitated the words and the specific actions of the adult. So let's take a look here at the Bobo doll experiment. Okay, so that's actually pretty interesting footage, and it kind of shows that, at least in that one anecdotal case, that the child was much more aggressive after seeing the adult be aggressive. Now, the application of observational learning can go one of two ways. Although Bandura's experiment showed antisocial behavior being modeled, we also assume that prosocial behavior that is modeled, for example, helping others, is more likely to trigger prosocial behavior, especially if the person we're observing or the model is consistent in their drive to help others. So it's not necessarily what we say, it's that kids are going to watch what we do. The Bobo experiment, though, did demonstrate that antisocial behavior can be mimicked, and there's a lot of research that has demonstrated that. For example, kids after watching the Power Rangers were more likely to be aggressive to other kids and siblings. And adult males who watch sexually violent movies were less sympathetic to victims of domestic violence. So it's not just kids, it's adults as well. Now, the American Academy of Pediatrics also demonstrated that media violence can contribute to aggressive behavior and even desensitization of violence and fear of being harmed. So imagine by the age of 12 or 13 how many violent acts a child has seen on today's TV. So let's take a look at an interesting video titled "Children See, Children Do." Oh no, this video was removed. How embarrassing. So we'll try and find that and show that in class. But what it was several staged examples of adults displaying either drunken behavior or littering or being aggressive towards dogs, and even displaying domestic violence and racism, and the kid was right behind the adult exhibiting the same behavior. So we'll find that video and show that in class. But the point is, do we want our young kids watching TV shows like Jersey Shore, or do we want kids watching people display pro-social behavior, volunteering, and helping those in need? Now, a neurological explanation for mimicking behavior deals with mirror neurons. This was discovered, these mirror neurons, in a pretty famous study. I think it was in Parma, Italy, in 1991, where researchers were kind of looking into a monkey's motor cortex near their frontal lobe, and kind of through serendipity, a monkey, when, for example, moving a peanut to their mouth, their motor cortex would act up, and we could see that behavior in their brain. But when a lab assistant came in, or one of the researchers came into the lab one day after lunch and was looking at an ice cream cone, the monkey sat perfectly still observing this researcher lick an ice cream cone, and their motor cortex became active as if that monkey was bringing that ice cream cone up to its mouth itself, even though it was sitting perfectly still. So the motor cortex shouldn't have been active. But in this case, the monkey's brain, motor cortex, did activate as if it was actually licking that ice cream cone. So researchers also noticed that, in further research, the monkey's brain, motor cortex, in the same area as if the monkey was actually selecting treats itself, while it observed another monkey select pictures to gain treats. That monkey's motor cortex in the same area was also active. And later on, that monkey was able to mimic the behavior to get treats in a quicker, learned it faster and quicker than it would have had it not observed the previous monkey. So it's like the brain displays this neurological echo that it's as if its neurons are mirroring the model's motor neurons. So mirror neurons can also be demonstrated in human behavior. By the age of 6 or 8 months, babies can imitate facial expressions of adults, and by 12 months, a baby will follow the gaze of an adult as it looks away or looks around a room. The baby will mimic that. So functional MRI scans shows that brain areas kind of simulate activity when watching others behave, whether they're actually observed or actually demonstrating a motor behavior, whether they're experiencing pain. Their mirror neurons will mimic their facial expressions. When people are displaying empathy and emotions, and these mirror neurons seem to be located in the frontal lobe near the motor cortex. So our facial expressions and our motor behavior physically seems to be mimicked by these neurons. So let's see if this video works, and we'll take a look at some mimicking behavior. One of my favorite videos to watch mimicking behavior, especially with the legs and the hand trying to mimic Beyonce. Never easily done. So that's it for observational learning. Remember, review if you need to, and go through your notes right now so you can engage in some semantic encoding. Thanks again.